So start streaming right now, and in this video we will talk about the engineering functionalities of the Hammerhead and later engineering functionalities of the Cutlass. Right now I'm in the pilot seat of the Hammerhead, and if you have the pilot in place without any other co-pilot or engineering being manned, then the pilot will have 100% access to all the available functionalities of the engineering. And in this screen of the pilot, you can see there are 4 screens. At the top you have one on the left, one on the right. There's a smaller screen. At the bottom you have one on the left, one on the right, and we're gonna be using the bigger screen at the bottom. Now if you look at one of the screen, let's look at the left one. You can scroll the mouse. You can scroll the mouse to zoom in. You will see there's a menu button here. If you click the menu, you will go to the main menu of the entire engineering functional. You see 7 windows. The first one is weapons, second shields, self status, power, heat, communication, and placeholder, which is right now is nothing there, but some in the future possibly gonna have something. Now we're gonna go into weapons, the first window, and you can see there are 3 different tabs: system, guns, missiles, and power button that you can turn the power on or off. So look at the system. You can see here you have 32 missiles and the button to turn on and off missile. Guns, obviously the ship doesn't have guns beside the turrets. Turret gun is different. We don't have we don't have guns for the ship that can be operated by the pilot. So there really no guns here for the pilot. Now if you click these guns, they're actually not guns but actually countermeasure. You have shaft launcher, flare launcher, 2 each, and you have 32 in terms of quantity, so total 64 each, 64 shaft and 64 flare, and you can turn on and off these. Now if you click missiles here, you can see you have Side 3 Vipers, Side 3 Arrestor. You have 16 missile, and they are different type. Viper is IR, which is infrared, and Arrestor is CS, means cross section. So the missiles are a different type missile, depend on your target. Now if you click menu, you go out to the main menu. Now you check out the shields. Now you can see here on the shields area of the ship, have the front shield, the back shield, the left and the right. You have 100% each. Now if you want to help with the shields, you can move this shield distribution. Let's say you need help with the front, move to the front. You can see the front has 242%, almost more than double it's normally, and you have less shield on the left, on the right, in the back, right? You can move this, let's say move it to the left so that you have more left shield. Depends on the situation of the battle. If you get shot at a specific area, you can move this to help, and you put at the center here, you will rebalance the shield equally for on 4. There are another ways to how you double click. You can double click on one area and it will harden the shield, and you can see the timer running here. It will harden, and the hardening will run out once the timer is running out. So that's another way that you can help with the shield. So start going, the timer is going back up here to the end. It should be back to normal. That's back to normal. Now you can harden this. Let's say you need to harden the right shield. You double click. I think when this green flashing, it means that the shield in hardening state right now, and when the timer is running out, it has to recover. I think at this point the shield is no longer hardened, but it takes time to recover before you can start hardening the shield again. Now if you click at items here, you can see stronghold. We have two stronghold, which is the shield generators, and you can actually turn on and off, and you can see it has the power, health, wear and heat of the shield generators. And this is the uses, this is the required power for the shield, and you have more than enough for the shield. So you can play around with this. You only need this, but you have up to this, so more than required. But if you have less power than what required, then you will not have, you cannot have 100% of the shield, because you don't have enough power to cover what required for the shield. So you see, only have, in this situation you only have 25% each, because you don't have enough power. Required is here, but what you have is only here. So you can scroll this, and now you have more than enough, and the shield should be restored to 100%. 100% each. Now this standby balance doesn't seem to have any functionality right now, and we will go out to the ready. Now the self status. Obviously you can see what's going on with the ship. What is the electromagnetism signature, the infrared signature of the ship, and obviously the cross section. The bigger the ship, the bigger the cross section usually. And you can see the status, everything is green. You have shields and no damage. Is there damage? It should be to see yellow or red, depending on the severity of damage of the ship. So that's the self status of the ship. Now you go to power. This is the power distribution for the ship. We have equal distribution of power to these weapons, the shield, and this is thruster, 33% each. And you can redistribute this. Let's say you need more power to shield, you can move this. You have 86% power to shield now, and 6% for weapons, 8% for thruster. Or you can move, if you need to run fast, you can move 85% to thruster and less for other things. And click at the center here to rebalance it at 33%. And here you can see the required power and the uses. And you can slide these. Sometimes you have to, it's gonna drop. This one can drop during the battle, and you have to move it back up to restore the power. If you have this bar below what required, you will not have enough power for the ship for what required. Now if you click items here, you go to all the equipments in the power. You can just scroll the mouse. You can see you have thruster here. Stronghold is the shield generators, and you can overclock it. You can see, you click overclock, you can see the heat going up, the health going up. But
shields overheating.
So we get the warning that shield overheated. So it doesn't last long, and it actually shut down after a while. So don't overdo with this. The shield cannot overclock for too long. And now you can see Mercury's is the coolers. We have two coolers, and you actually can for now you can actually overclock the coolers.
More power to shields.
And once you overclock the coolers, the guns won't be able to shoot for longer period of time without overheat, and therefore we're gonna have more damage output. And at this point, 3.4 version, there is no penalty no apparent penalties for overclocking the coolers. So it makes sense to always overclock the Mercury coolers so that we have our turrets shoot for a longer period of time without overheating. But now I will turn them off to keep. When the super dry, we actually the power plant for the ship, and you can overclock them also. You can overclock the power plant so that we can have more powers to put into either weapons or shield or thrusters. And Kama is actually the quantum drive engine. If you need to quantum for long hours, you can overclock it to help with quantum travel also. But it doesn't seem to actually have anything going on here. Now, if you click the steel button here, it doesn't really do anything now. And we click menu to get out of the menu. Now we go to the heat window. You can see this is the heat level 4600 something. Have the electromagnetism signature, have infrared signature, and you can see the suppress button here. This one is to suppress the thruster, this one to suppress the shield, this one to this is actually power, this one is shield, and this one is weapons. And if I click suppress, you're gonna suppress the signature of the weapon, so we're gonna have lower output but less signature. It's harder to be detected by the enemy missile, so you can suppress the thing individually. You can see this number, how this number is gonna change. You know, you suppress the thruster, the heat gonna go down. I don't think these things are actually functioning perfectly yet. And if you click the items, you also see you have access to Kama, which is the quantum drive. You can overclock them like we talked before. Super drive is the power plant, you can overclock it. And most importantly right now is the coolers Mercury. You can overclock Mercury. I think you have access to the same thing here in the heat menu. Heat menu, you have access to the equipment, and at the power you also have access to the equipment, because there is no co-pilot or no engineering being managed, so the pilot have access to everything. And now this is the communication where you can see, you can ask for landing service from Oriza, ask for landing, and see all the contacts that you have here. So that is this contact, and this is just a placeholder. Potentially in the future there will be something will be there. So that is the entire engineering functionaries once you are in the pilot seat without anyone in the co-pilot or in engineering. Now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna have Pharaoh take the pilot seat, and I will take the co-pilot, and you will see how the pilot and the co-pilot can share the control of the engineering functionaries. Pharaoh, you go ahead, take the pilot seat. This is the situation that you have a pilot and someone gonna take the co-pilot or the engineering, and things gonna be different this time. In this situation, the co-pilot or engineering will no longer have access to everything, and the pilot will have access to the heat. And I can turn on this monitor. I'm gonna turn on, power on this Copilot, and I'm gonna zoom in this, and let's say go to heat and items. Now you go to Mercury. You used to be able to overclock Mercury. Now you click it, you cannot overclock Mercury anymore. So once you have the pilot in place and you're in the Copilot seat, you have to talk to the pilot to overclock the coolers, because the pilot have exclusive access to that. So far out, can you go to your screen and overclock the coolers, which is the Mercury, so that we can see from here? See, you can see that Farao at his pilot seat, he had exclusive access to the coolers, and he can overclock, but the Copilot cannot do. Other than that, you can overclock everything else. You have access to the rest of the things. The only exception is the coolers. So let's say if I go back to super dry, I can overclock it, which is the power plant, or the shield, which is stronghold. Stronghold is shield generator. I can overclock it, and I can go to power system here and change the power distribution also, no problem. Or I can go to shield here and change the shield priority or hardening it. So the lesson is, once you have the pilot in place and you get into the Copilot or the engineering, you will not have access to the coolers, and you need to ask pilot to overclock the coolers, which is Mercury. The name of the cooler is Mercury in this situation, and you have control over the remaining of the engineering functionality of the ship. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the Cutlass. Cutlass is waiting for us right in front, and it'll show the engineering functionality of the Cutlass. Very similar to the Hammerhead. Out this airlock. I will close the door of the Hammerhead, and you open the door of the Cutlass, Farah. Take the pilot seat and have full control of everything. Alright, I need to turn the power off so that the ship doesn't move around.
Shield system charging.
No.
Hello and welcome aboard your Drake interplanetary craft. Your systems are online.
Let me see if we can turn engine off. I turn engine off.
Engines offline.
So that the ship doesn't move around.
Shield
Now,
system online.
you can look at on the screen here. You zoom in and click the menu. You can see that this one has 6 windows instead of 7. It doesn't have the placeholder, but that's specific to the Hammerhead. Hammerhead may have some more engines. But this one actually have the target status. The difference is, if you have a target, you go to this menu. It's able to see the same as you see yourself status. You can see your shield and your body damage. Once you have a target here, you click you can see your target in here, whether it has shield or not, and whether what are the damage on the shield. That should be. Now the difference, you can see that basically they have the same engineering menu pretty much. You go to weapons, this one has 16 missiles instead of 32. You have gun here, 1 and 2 guns. Specifically, you can go there and you can see it has Scorpion here. You have 2 Scorpion, which is a group 2 weapons. Either I think it should be left mouse or right mouse. You have 80 bullets, 80 rounds, and then you have the laser badges. So here, the group 1. There's one up here and one up here. And you have flare and shaft, 20 each. And missile here, you see that you have 8 side 3 missile arrestor, which is the cross section, and have 8 side 2 tempest, also cross section. So for this ship, the default missile, that's the cross section missiles. And we go out to the main menu and go to shield. The same thing, you can redistribute the shield and harden it, same as a Hammerhead in that aspect. And if you go to power, you can redistribute the power. And now the equipment of the Cutlass Odyssey is the quantum drive. Daybreak is the power plant, and Cold Snap is a cooler. You can overclock the coolers and you're gonna shoot your gun longer period of time without overheat. Now stop is actually the shield. I will undo the overclock for the coolers right now. If you're scrolling down, you can see that stop is the shield generator. You can overclock the shield generator. You see temperature going up and health going up, up, up. And now you overclock the shield. Pretty cool. You can overclock the shield. Now the difference for the Cutlass is you actually can overclock the guns. The ship at the pilot seat, you have control of 4 guns. You have the CF227 Badger laser, and you also have the Scorpion GT 215. So we have 4 guns in pair, 2 pairs of 2 guns each, and you can overclock them. You can overclock the Badger laser, and you can overclock the Scorpion. And I can show how overclock it. That's the difference between the Cutlass and the Hammerhead. The Hammerhead doesn't have the gun itself beside the turrets, but the Cutlass does have at the pilot control 4 guns, and we can test this out right now. So let's say I will shoot, or we have to fly outside the empty zone. Okay, we need to fly outside the empty zone to do this, so we will do that.
Engines online.
So engine on.
Engines, power is running low.
Fly outside the empty zone.
Landing gear up.
Alright, so we now outside the empty zone.
Landing gear down.
Now I can show if I shoot. This is a laser, right? Boom, boom, boom. That's how it shoots. Now if I overclock it, I go here and I overclock the laser repeater. Laser repeater overclock. Let's see how I shoot. So it actually a lot faster. That's when the benefit of overclocking the gun. Now I'm gonna redo the overclock of the laser repeater. Now we're gonna test the Scorpion. This is how Scorpion gonna shoot. Normal distance. Oh, we get shot. Dead. So we'll start continue the video instruction about the Cutlass engineering. And here is how the ballistic gun GT215 before overclocking, and now we will see what happened when you overclock the gun. I go to weapons. It should be power. Items. You can scrolling down to click this scrolling bar and move down, and you see that you have this Scorpion GT215 overclock 1 and overclock 2. Now they are overclocked, and we will test to see what happened. So it's really indeed a lot faster. The rate of fire is a lot faster. So when you overclock the guns for the Cutlass, for both the laser repeaters and for the ballistic GT215, they will shoot at a much faster rate. That's the benefit of overclocking, and that is the difference, the main difference between the Cutlass and the Hammerhead. Now I will leave it pilot, and Farah will take the pilot, and I will take the co-pilot, and we will see how the control of engineering functionally being shared between the pilot and the co-pilot.
Your chaff is online.
Go into the co-pilot seat and power on. Farah, you are power on now, right?
Yeah, it's power on, yeah.
Okay. So I think you have the exclusive control of the power equipment, right? So if you click power and items, you can show that you overclock them. You can start overclock, Odyssey, Daybreak, and can you?
Shield system online. Engines offline.
I see you turn off the engine, right? Or it's on now.
Online. Engines offline.
So I try to, as a co-pilot, now you have the co-pilot and have the pilot in place. Try to overclock, it doesn't work anymore, because now the pilot will have exclusive control over this. You can scroll down and you click, doesn't work. Cannot do that anymore. Cannot overclock the guns nor the Odyssey, which is the quantum drive, Daybreak, which is the power plant.
Engines online.
If you go to
offline.
heat, however, and items, you can still overclock the coolers. So for the Cutlass, as the co-pilot and the pilot in place, you can still overclock cold snap, which is the coolers, and stop, which is the shield generators. You can overclock that, and you can still if you go to shield, you can still hardening the shield, or you can redistribute. You can distribute shield as normal. When you go to power, you can change the power distribution also. The thing you cannot do at the co-pilot is you go to powers and items, and you cannot overclock items in the power menus. The pilots can do this. Hey Farao, can you undo overclock of the daybreak? I think you overclock it, right? I want you to demonstrate that you can overclock these equipments at the pilots, and only you can do that. Farao?
I did it.
I see that you overclock daybreak, right? Can you undo overclock daybreak?
What with that? Overclock it, and
No, I see it overclock right now. I want you to undo it.
yeah, I undo it. Sorry, I did it.
Yeah, it's for me. It's in overclock right here. So can you overclock Odyssey, the quantum drive?
Okay, it's overclocked.
I don't see it showing. Can you overclock the guns, laser repeater, and the Scorpion?
I did it.
You did it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't see it though. So it doesn't look like once you did it. I don't see it showing on my screen. However, I think it's okay. Now I see it now. So you have to kind of exit the menu and go back in to see it. So it does show, but I do have to. So you need to refresh. So you have to get out of the menu and get back in to see the effect that okay, now I can see you overclock Odyssey, you overclock the laser repeater, Scorpion. Okay, now can you undo overclock them?
Done.
Okay, now I get back in. I should expect to see no overclock. Okay, alright, yep, no more overclock. So that is the difference when you have pilot in place and you take the co-pilot. The pilot will have exclusive control of the many different equipments, guns, and quantum drive. However, the co-pilot still have access to shield distribution, to power distribution, and the co-pilot can still overclock the coolers. You can go to heat, and you can still overclock the equipment in the heat menu, which is coolers, important, and the shield generators. The remaining of the equipments are exclusively controlled by the pilot, so you need to talk to the pilot to overclock or control of this. This should be the end of the video instruction.